The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning. Welcome to the webinar on the PMP portfolio. I'll wait just one more minute for other folks to show, and then we'll get started. Thanks. All right, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. My name is Matt Mangriotis, Director of Product Management here at Cambium Networks. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the PMP portfolio and what all the new things that have come out recently and what we're planning to release later this year. We just did a show in North America called WISP America, and we presented some of the new innovations in the portfolio. And I'll recap some of that and introduce a couple of new things as well. So I hope everyone's excited. We'll go very quickly. And as always, if you have questions, please type questions into the question box and we'll answer them. If it makes sense, I'll stop and answer them during the presentation. And if not, we'll try to answer them at the end. All right, let's get going. So as you know, Cambium Networks has a wide portfolio of products these days. We keep adding to it. We have everything from very long distance point-to-point links, starting from the right side of the screen, to the access layer, the PMP series and the ePMP series. And then we go to the Wi-Fi portfolio, and we have enterprise class outdoor solutions, indoor solutions for multi-dwelling units and areas. And then we have the CN Pilot series of products, the R series, that helps connect the the access layer stuff directly to the indoor Wi-Fi, and you can have a complete solution all the way. All of this is controlled by CN Maestro, which is our single pane of glass management system that keeps getting stronger and better every day as we add more features to that portfolio. Another way to look at it, from the backhaul on the left, through the access layer stuff, which we'll focus on today, the point to multi-point stuff. And then the Wi-Fi portfolio, which is our newest entrance into the portfolio, but growing strongly and world-class type stuff these days. We also have an IIoT solution with the CN Reach product, which has multiple input-output formats. It does many of the license bands and is very suitable for SCADA data collection and connecting the right things in terms of the IoT space. Again, all this managed by CN Maestro, whether it's on cloud or on premise. We have the ability to manage all of these products all the way down the line. 450 has evolved over time, especially on the access point side. At the beginning, we had a separate antenna that was connected by N-type cables, jumper cables, that had to be weatherproofed and in the outdoor environment. And then we went to an integrated access point, which eliminated those jumper cables and optimized the antenna for the sector antenna for use in frequency reuse situations. And it's a really good, solid antenna. And then we've evolved that access point to perform much higher functioning performance through the 450M, the CN Medusa technology. So if you haven't heard of CN Medusa before, I'll take you through that real briefly. It is really a leading edge technological innovation. It's been out for about a year. We have more than 4,000 of them deployed globally. And what it does is really enhances your capacity versus what you can do with a 450 or 450i. It is certainly incredible amount of capacity improvement, very, very good spectral efficiency, and allows you to not only achieve that spectral efficiency and free up spectrum versus existing systems, but you're protecting your investment in your current subscriber modules. The 450M works with those current subscriber modules without any changes to those subscribers. It also improves link stability in the uplink. We get about 12 dB better uplink versus the 450. And that's simply because of the beam forming as well as the advanced radio design that's in the Medusa product. And it's a very simple integrated device. There's no RF cables. Imagine this is a 14 by 14 device that can talk to up to 7 subscribers at the same point in time. And imagine if we had an external antenna system that required connection for each of those transceivers. That would be a heck of a lot of points of failure and a lot of weatherproofing to do. But all of that's eliminated by the very innovative connection scheme internal to the radio, and it's all encased in an IP67 housing. How does it work? Well, it's really going beyond any of the standards that exist today. As I mentioned, it's 14 by 14, the ability to talk to up to 7 radios at once. No other standard, not even LTE, supports things like this yet, and we're doing it in production at scale today. Beamforming is a key component of this. Not only have multiple transceivers talking different data rates and different data to different subscribers, but you're beamforming those at different subscribers so that you're not interfering with each other. And really what this allows you to do is increase capacity at very minimal added cost. 15.13 was recently released last January, a couple of months ago, and it brought a lot of great new features to that 450M platform, the Medusa platform. Really impressive data rates in wider channels. So now we can support 30 and 40 meg channels. We can demonstrate more than 1.2 gigabits of data through that. We also are able to support now legacy SMs, including 430s, the prior generation of SMs with Medusa. And we've allowed old software to connect in case you need to connect old stuff that's in the field and then upgrade that later. Some of the kind of the stats, if you will. This graph is 21 SMs. This is in a lab scenario, showing that we're able to group 7 subscribers all at once. You can see that in the bottom of the chart. And they're always grouped. And the results that you see with this is about 1,200 1.2 gigabits of data in the downlink. Pretty impressive stuff. And when we implement uplink MU-MIMO, which is coming out in release 15.3, you can see your uplink data rates go from about 23 meg up to about 85 meg. And that's simply because now we're able to do uplink MU-MIMO as well. So you might say, well, you have this ability to talk to 7 subscribers at once. How do you, when do you show improvement? And really all you need to do to show improvement is to have at least 2 SMs, because 2 SMs will allow you to at least double the number of capacity. And as you grow, it's a little counterintuitive because as you load up the sector, your chances of doing better increase. And so if you have more than 2, you just keep continuing to get better. So that's kind of the summary on Medusa, and I hope most folks on the phone have heard of that before and are working towards experimenting with that, at least in your network. We've had a lot more adoption of this over the past year, and feel free to come to the forums and discuss, because there's a lot of discussion on that. I do want to point out a new case study that we've done with 900 megahertz on, it's a rural Ohio company, New Era Broadband, and they're actually connecting firehouses using the PMP 450 900 megahertz. It was an ideal candidate for this because the terrain makes it a tough shot, but the 900 megahertz product is pretty good at overcoming obstacles due to foliage. And they're achieving results over 5x what they were getting with any other product. And it's really all about connecting those volunteer firefighting houses and the ability to help the rural community. So that's just yet another success story with the 900 megahertz product, which is often the band of last resort, but often can do things that other bands just can't do. So I just wanted to point that out and make sure that people are aware that case study exists. Switching topics, we have a service out there called the Health Check Service. You can contact us at Cambium support if you want, or you can contact me directly at Matt@Cambium Networks if you're interested in this health check service, and we'll schedule that audit. And what it does, what we're doing with this is an audit of your network to detect anything that can be improved or optimized in order to help your network run better. Misconfigurations, any optimization in throughput, maybe reduce latency or move some AP subscribers from one AP to the next. It's about optimizing your network for use to make best use of the equipment that you have. Currently, we're doing this with the PMP series of products, the 450 line, but we will support ePMP as well in the near future. And we're not making any changes to the network. What we're doing is taking a snapshot using CNET customer support capture tools and taking a snapshot of it and then reporting back to you what we could do to make changes to optimize the system. In the near future, we're going to allow for a kind of a recurring service, not just a snapshot, but a trending service where we're monitoring through CN Maestro your network over time to see if things can be improved over time. And what was generated out of this, the output, if you will, is a bunch of interactive reports through system, security, Ethernet, radio statistics. And they're interactive, meaning you can click down and drill into any of the data that you'd like to see. These are actually created with business intelligence tools, and they're available on a website. And what you can do is kind of drill down into it to see exactly what you want to see in terms of these reports. And again, we're not changing anything. It's really a health check system that can kind of give you pointers as to where to go. If you're interested, again, you can shoot me an email directly at matt@cambiumnetworks.com or contact support for the contact information on how to get this started. It's a minimal cost. I believe it's around $1,000 or $1,200 if you have less than 100 access points in your network. So it's a minimal cost for the value that you can achieve by optimizing your entire network. So I wanted to point out that we have that service available if you haven't heard of that before. So let's talk roadmap a little bit. What's coming up in the near term? We just released 15.1.3, as I mentioned. We have 15.1.5 coming out. We're launching the 450B high gain, and we're putting on that, or at relatively the same time, 15.1.5. And what that does is provide, it's really a stability release. We're correcting a couple issues that we've heard about in the field. A couple things have been noted on the forum in terms of issues that are out there. So we're fixing a bunch of issues, making a very, very stable release. And then following on its heels, in April, we will have 15.2. There is a beta of 15.2. I'll talk a little bit about what features are coming in 15.2 as well, coming up. 15.3 in late June, early July will include some additional software features for 450 platform, and then also uplink MuMIMO for the Medusa platform, which is really cool. And you notice that there's a phase 1 and phase 2. In phase 1, the uplink MuMIMO will be kind of an either or type of scenario where you can choose to have uplink MuMIMO or downlink, and it's really suited best for video surveillance type applications where you need more throughput in the uplink. And in phase 2, late in the year, we will have the ability to do both uplink and downlink MuMIMO at the same time. And then also late in the year, you'll notice the 3 gig 450 Medusa product, and I'll talk more about that in the upcoming slides. So 450B, the mid gain was released late last year and has been available for a while. The high gain is being released. We actually just obtained the FCC grant to sell that in the US yesterday, as a matter of fact, actually Monday, which was yesterday. So we just obtained that yesterday, and so that's available and shipping now that we've received that grant, and you'll see that coming into the distribution channel very, very soon. So look for that. We're very excited to have that out and available. We have received lots of feedback on this product already. There are several customers that have gotten that beta out there and been using the 450B high gain in beta form, and results are pretty good. We're going to obtain some more results and some more detailed reports. There are some reports of this on the forum already, and really it's performing in line with the expected results, expected per the specifications that we have. So there's an example of a screenshot where a customer is getting about 200 megs in a 2 to 3 mile range in a 40 meg channel. So really about what we expect to see out of that thing. So we're real excited to start getting these out in volume. And again, we're starting to ship this week. I do want to mention CN Archer. We do have this available as well in the Google Play Store. It's on Android only right now. But as you noticed, or as you may noticed, we will have a beta expected in a couple of weeks. First week of April is the expectation, which will support not only support ePMP, but we will have an iOS version as well that will support both ePMP and 450. So we're improving this software. We just released another one very recently that supports work orders and QR code scanning, and that's available in, I believe, in beta form right now, and will be fully released before that iOS version even comes out. So we're hard at work improving this product. And what does it do? Really, it's about eliminating the need for pre-configuration, eliminating the need to have a laptop or a local power supply installed, minimizes the UI screens that you have to learn or use while you're installing. And also you can kind of eliminate that communication with the NOC because everything's already in the app as far as pre-configuration goes. You can upgrade software with it, configure the SM. You can simplify the evaluation to pick the right APs. The alignment is the kind of the cornerstone or the keystone of this product that does the graphical alignment real time. You can validate the install by capturing a link test after it's done. You can configure the location. That's another key piece of the puzzle here. It'll store the GPS coordinates in the SM and in Maestro if necessary. And you can do the configuration for the package or the subscription that the customer has right from Archer. How do we do this physically? We support a battery dongle that's made by, in the US, made by a company called LinkTex, or sold by a company called LinkTex, and the product name is PowerLink. What that is a battery, 15 watt, 24 volt battery that can connect directly to the radio using an Ethernet cable and provides the SSID to connect to the Wi-Fi client on your phone. And it's also available worldwide from a company called Jiva Electronica out of Italy. So they are available. They work really well, and we recommend them for now for use with CN Archer. So check that out if you get a chance. 15.2 beta was released for this new software, and it brings several new features to the scheduling mechanism in 450. We have a weighted fair queuing, which is an alternative method of sharing prioritized bandwidth. Up to today, we've had only strict priority queuing, but now we're able to do weighted fair queuing if you so choose. SM prioritization, we can actually prioritize a specific SM or more than one specific SM to be served ahead of others, given the same priority level. This is useful if you have one or two customers that are paying more and you want to service them first without dedicating CIR or other queues to them. We're adding a couple levels of QoS, so now you can do voice, video, multicast, whatever you want to do. You can prioritize those levels of QoS. So we're breaking up those TOS bits from just having 2 levels to now having the ability to do 4 levels of QoS. We're adding higher level of encryption. We're going from 128-bit to 256-bit AES. We have the option to do either. We will lose the ability to do DES, but seeing as DES is more or less compromised in the wild, there's really no reason to be using DES at all. So you have the options now of off 128-bit AES or 256-bit AES encryption over the air. And we're going to allow you to limit the max modulation mode. We know there's some conditions out there that exist where a subscriber is maybe on the hairy edge of doing 6x or 8x modulation, and the fact that it bounces back and forth between those sometimes causes issues with stability of the link. And so we're going to limit we can allow for the limit of the max modulation if you so choose to do that. So 3 gig. This discussion is very immediate and pertinent to the North America group, the North American customers, as there's an initiative called CBRS, which is a Citizens Band Radio Service. And what it means is that there's a 3-tiered flexible use system being implemented in the 3 gig space in North America, in the US specifically. We're going from the ability to use 50 megahertz today in 365 to 370 to adding 100 megahertz to that, but now there's a spectrum access system that the radios need to communicate with in order to use that new spectrum. And there's several tiers, as you note in the center triangle there. There's an incumbent that get priority, and that's the radar systems, the defense radar and satellite earth stations. And then there will be what's called a priority access license that will allow a customer to get priority over general access users, general authorized access users. And those will be auctioned probably in the year 2019 or late 2019 or early 2020. And you can see where the bands lie. So today, worldwide, there's TDD in LTE, there's TDD bands 42 and 43. And in the US, there's now a band 48 that kind of falls in the middle of that. And so the 3 gig 450 platform will support band 48. We will get it recertified under Part 96, which is the new rule set for this. And then we will ensure that the 450 platform works with the SAS. There's several companies that have applied and been approved to be SAS providers, and we're working with a lot of them. We're working to make sure that we can interoperate with those SAS systems. Maestro actually is the bridge between them. And the reason we're doing this is because we're launching Medusa in 3 gigahertz, bringing that technology, that extra capacity, all the cool things about the Medusa technology to the 3 gig band. We're able to support increase of capacities in the 3 gig 450 platform, 2 to 3 times the capacity versus the existing system, utilizing the same spectrum. So we're really excited about this. We're planning this for launch in Q3 in September, and we will start doing beta testing in the August timeframe for this product as well. So you might say, well, there's other options out there in 3 gig, namely LTE. There's a lot of folks pushing the LTE solutions in 3 gig. And yes, LTE is awesome. And yes, LTE has lots of cool stuff built into the chipset and into the standard. Billions of dollars have been spent on research and development of that standard. And it does a couple things really well, but it's a mobile standard, and it was developed as a mobile standard. So there's a lot of ways that the 450 product actually outperforms LTE, and especially in terms of spectral efficiency and capacity. If you want to push, 500 megs in a sector, it's very, very tough to do that with LTE. If you want to go a really long way and connect guys that are tough to connect, and you only need a very small bandwidth to do it, then LTE might be a consideration. So in any case, I'd like to point out that there's a paper available on the website. Please go check it out. There's a lot to be said for the product that we've developed from the ground up in terms of capacity, spectral efficiency, the ability to mitigate interference, and really we have a pretty good track record with customer experience in this area. So go check that out. And as always, I would like to encourage you to go to the community. I'm on there all the time. My handle is Cambium Matt, and we answer. Engineers look at that. I point out issues and questions to the engineering community. They're on there all the time. It's a great place to exchange knowledge. So feel free to go there and check that out. And follow us on social media. There's Facebook and all that stuff. We participate in LinkedIn and Twitter, sharing articles and important things. And that's it for me. I do have a couple questions, and I'd like to invite you to post additional questions as you may have them. A question is, are we confident in the delivery of 450M late this year? And yes, we are. We're progressing well. We have test results from field tests of some of the initial prototypes of the 450M in 3 gig, and we're pretty confident in the design. It's just a matter of finishing and buttoning up that program. And as I said, we'll have some beta units in the field in the August timeframe. So yeah, we're pretty confident in that. Another question is the max modulation cap. Is that on the SM or the AP or both? And as of right now, we're planning it on a per SM basis. You can cap the modulation; they're independent. You don't necessarily want to cap the AP's max modulation in case there's SMs that are close enough that can handle the highest. So it'll be on an SM basis. That's the plan as of right now. And it can be tailored to specific SMs. Meaning one SM in the sector could be capped at 6x, one can be allowed to go to 8x, that kind of thing. A question is, can you prioritize SMs based on modulation in 15.2? No, you don't prioritize based on modulation. When you prioritize like the high priority channel, that channel will get served first, regardless of the modulation that SM is at. So I guess the short answer is no, you don't prioritize based on modulation. But the higher the modulation, the faster that customer will be served. And so he'll get it on and off the network in a quicker fashion. And that looks like about all the questions I got today. Thank you very much for joining. A recording of this webinar will be posted on the forum as usual. Again, thanks. Appreciate your attendance, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.